Hi guys, a video on Tesla because I think there is still an opportunity to invest in this. We are still not breaching the all-time highs, and for a stock like Tesla, and like any stock and any currency you invest in, when it reaches all-time highs, once it goes below above the all-time highs, risk goes up a lot. I find because you're in uncharted territory, and of course it can correct at any moment, and the higher you go, the more likely it is. And of course, underlying value is always very important. As with currencies, you really want to see adoption pick up and see like the amount of transactions, for example, on the network go up a lot compared to the value of the network. In the case of Bitcoin or Ethereum, Bitcoin Cash. But similarly with stocks, you really want to see like the amount of revenue they make and the amount of uh, also profits, but that's sometimes much harder to read. But revenue, like a company that like goes up in revenue usually, and is not piling up debts at a faster pace, of course, that would be bad. But that where the debt load is like normal, acceptable, and revenues are going up a lot. That means that they are doing something very very right, and the stock price will follow. Check Peter Lynch, his great top stock tips. He was an investment guru of the 80s and 90s, but it's still really great to read up on his stock picks and sorry, stock tips. And one of it, he keeps it very simple, is that if revenues go up a lot over time, the value of the stock will also go up a lot. Huh? If the Tesla story speaks to you and you have room in your portfolio for more investments and in your mind also for more investments, I think this is a very still a really great time to get in, because yeah, it pumped a lot, and I would certainly try to buy lower, buy in step, buy a piece now, buy a piece at 301, for example. Also try to buy a piece maybe at 280. It may dip so low, but build certainly a position here, because I think chances are very high we will breach the all-time high quite quickly. That stands at 380, and then we go into uncharted territory. But I think it will be going a lot higher after that. It will do a 5x to 10x, just like we saw in the past here. This is the start since 2011, since it started quoting. It started at $20 in 2010, and then it went from 20 to 40 in 2013. So that took 3 years to go from 20 to 40. But you see, you reached the 40 already the first year. Correction back to 40, deep correction again back to 30. 20. So 40, 20, 30, 20, 40, 20, 40, 30, 40, 30, 40, and then it breaks out. And the breakout is going from basically 40 to in a very short time, in 6 months, from 40 to 180. A correction, but it's just like it goes from 180 to 120, and then it goes to a new high only half a year later of 240. And this new high is reached is basically for another 3 years you're around 240. Then you go to a new high of 380, and then you're there another 3 years. So yeah, you can see from this pattern that yeah, I mean, if the story is still valid here, the underlying fundamentals are still valid, the price structure is that used to go sideways for 3 years, up a lot, sideways for 3 years, up a little, sideways for 3 years, and what's next? Well, it's likely going to be up a lot. Um, because basically, yeah, you could say, yeah, sideways 3 years, up a little, sideways 3 years, but actually you could also say it's basically been at 6 years. For 6 years it's been around $250. Only the past day, a past week, it went back away from this $250 area, and we're gonna test the high here. And over the years, a big short position has been built up. We may test it correct, but we may also just go straight through it, because we've been testing this already many times, 4 or 5 times, the 380 area. So it's still a great time to get in. Of course, you have to look at what's been happening over all those years when it comes to revenues, for example. Let's take a look here. Revenues. So this is a great chart from 2008, the revenues of Tesla, 2008 to 2018. So 2019 is not included yet, and actually, I don't think the revenues will go up that much in 2019. But the trend is that you're basically doing 80% per year of growth. That's crazy. 80% revenue growth is crazy. This you only see with the highest growth companies that are always in the tech industry and not in the car industry. So this is a remarkable story. Like, how can that happen in the car industry, that you grow at 80% while your competitors are actually declining? Like BMW, Volkswagen, Toyota. The amount of cars they sell per year does not go up. The amount of revenues they do per year does not go up. And then, of course, you have to look at debt loads. If Tesla is piling up debt loads, of course, then that would not be good. Yeah, I'm not gonna go deep into this. You can do your own homework. There are many videos available. Why Tesla is a good investment that make a very good case for it. I would recommend the channel HyperChange on YouTube. It has some good videos. I will link one below. But I do think HyperChange suffers from what you see in also in the crypto world is. Too much fanboy mentality. Yeah, you have to be able to be objective towards your investments and see the good and the bad. And I don't think that's really the case there, even though he says that. I don't think that's the case. For example, yes, Porsche did a great job with their new EV, their Taycan. I mean, yes, they can't compete with Tesla whatsoever. They don't have automatic updates. They're not working on autopilot at all. Um, but what they do have is it's the design is better than Tesla. If you want a sports car, what can you buy? A Tesla, nothing. But you can buy a Taycan. It's a sports car. It looks better, and it's also 4 seats, so it's practical. And it's probably also actually more its performance lasts better. If you want to race, you can do this with the Porsche Taycan for the whole time, while the Teslas do suffer from performance dropping due to I don't know what the reasons are. Probably too much stress on the batteries, or I don't know what the reason is. But Tesla uses this, has a much higher performance in the beginning than after a while if you really push it. And I have confidence actually that Volkswagen will do a great job, and also switching to EVs and will become a competitor, a noteworthy competitor. But they are way too late. Tesla has such a big leap, and is able to even increase its gross margins. That should really not be the case. Actually, um, uh, uh, it's true that up until today, for example, not a single car company has offered what Tesla has offered has already been offering for 5 years. That's a decent family car that has a long range, like the Model S. No, they are not there yet, which is of course a disgrace for the competitors. But of course they will catch up. But many will drop off. I believe it will be a true slaughterhouse in the car industry over the next 10 years, and Tesla will come out as an absolute dominant player. That's you can see that. Huh? So this company has much more is a company that will very likely become, in my opinion, the biggest company in the world. And that means that we're at 40 billion market cap. The biggest company is 1 trillion. Um, and I think that's the potential here of Tesla. So a 10x go from 40 billion to 400 billion, 500 billion, I think is the next step. And we are usually typically in these kind of industry growth companies, uh, investors are front running reality. Like if they extrapolate the growth rates and they think ahead and they price this in already today. Usually they've not done that so with Tesla the past 4 years, or certainly not the past 2 3 years, but they did it in the past, and so likely this will come back, and they will again price in a future growth. That's why why you can go from 40 billion to 400 billion, even though I mean, it's not worth 400 billion today, and it's not worth 400 billion next year. No, but it will be worth 400 billion in 5 years, and investors will front run that and will already value the company so much probably by next year, I believe. So I wish you all good luck. Thanks for watching, and check the link below where the case is made why Tesla is a great investment.